reason why I'm doing this is I saw a website that picked the number one fan of each NFL team. And I was curious what they thought was the number one fan of the Broncos. This is a tough question. That's why I said if you could answer. Woody's pick six, starting with number 6 and going to number 1, who are the most notable fans of the Denver Broncos? Lindsey Vonn is number 6. She brought Tiger Woods to a game last year. They stood on the sideline. It might have been 2 years ago, but it's been last year. So Lindsey Vonn is from Colorado, big Broncos fan, and she's notable. So that fits that checks all the boxes.
Checks all the boxes.
Let's go to number 5. Skier, everybody knows that, world champion. Don Cheadle. People don't know.
Good choice.
A lot of people don't know that Don Cheadle went to high school at East High School.
Denver East.
He was a track star. I've talked to him. He's been in the Iron Man movies. He was in the Hotel Rwanda. He's won Academy Awards and Emmys, and he comes back town because his relatives live here, and he goes to Broncos games. Number 4, Tim Allen. He was born in Denver. He played the guy that did, what was the show that he was on? The TV show.
Home Improvement.
I'm sorry?
Home Improvement.
Home Improvement.
See, I knew Tool Time. I knew the show name of the show that the show was about.
I don't think people realize, though, he was a Detroit Lions fan.
Yeah.
And then he started a movie called Last Man Standing, in which he played a rabid fan. And in that movie, he was a rabid fan of the Denver Broncos, and he's actually a rabid fan of the Broncos in real life.
Wow.
Okay. Number 3, Roseanne Barr.
That's not a good answer.
That was the one. The only reason why I put it on there is when I went to their website, I went, I wonder who this website has as the number one Broncos fan, and they said Roseanne Barr. And I went,
No.
Roseanne Barr. But what you don't know, she was a housewife here. And she went down to Comedy Works down the street.
Yeah, that story I know.
And she became a famous comedian. But what you don't want to do if you're the Broncos and she is a fan, I think she lives in Salt Lake City, do not let her sing the national anthem.
That's true. I have a much better answer than Roseanne Barr.
Okay, number 2.
Tease.
Yeah, good. Johnny Bolin Jr. He has now become the most notable Broncos fan because he's the blood of the city. He is the owner of the Broncos. I think you can't go beyond that, except I do. But Johnny Bolin Jr. is he knows the mayor. Number 1 notable Broncos fan.
Hey, there you go.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone. They provide
South Park
actual videos for the Nuggets when they're in the playoffs, the Broncos when they're in the playoffs, and I think everybody knows that they did South Park and they did one of the most famous plays on Broadway, The Mormon, or whatever it is.
Book of Mormon.
Book of Mormon.
Which I saw in London last year, and it was hilarious.
Yeah. So Kiz is now going to give you Broncos 6 most notable Broncos fans.
And I did. I cursed Woody this morning when he sent me this question. And the proof that I had trouble is of my 6 greatest Bronco fans, as far as I know, at least 2 of them are dead. So this is all time.
I know one of them.
Robin Williams. He's the hairiest Broncos cheerleader of all time. So I'm not sure he actually cheered for the Broncos. I know he liked Lance Armstrong. I know he liked San Francisco teams.
When he was playing Mort, he played with the old Pony Express. He dressed up like a cheerleader and was at a regular game that you and I were probably at. He actually performed at halftime.
Number 5. Kyle Busch. We got a little NASCAR involved, and he went out to Broncos camp just last year. Now, I don't know if the Broncos are his favorite team.
He was the driver for Furniture Row, wasn't he? Or is he the brother? I can't remember which Busch was Furniture Row.
Was what? Furniture Row? Yeah. So there you go. Number 4.
He bet on the Broncos for the Super Bowl.
What?
Gandalf. From Lord of the Rings, the guy that's actually actor Ian McKellen. I'm not sure that he's a Broncos fan, but it's the most hilarious photo of a person I've ever seen wearing a Peyton Manning jersey. Look it up after the show. Do Gandalf Manning jersey, and you'll see like that guy should never wear.
I thought Gandalf was the guy in The Sting that Paul Newman played.
It might have been.
Yeah.
I know him from Lord of the Rings.
That is a good stretch.
Number 3, Tim the Barrelman. He's actually the greatest Broncos fan of all time. And I'll say this about the late, great Tim, is that the one thing that was cool about this question to me is that unlike the Lakers or the Knicks, there aren't a lot of celebrity fans of the Broncos. And that actually kind of makes it cool that it's the common man, Tim McKernan, that was probably the greatest Broncos and best known Broncos fan
He
ever.
was a mechanic. He went in, Hall of Fame picked him as the Broncos' #1 fan.
Aerospace mechanic, right?
I named him the Barrel Man, and I didn't even know
You
it.
named him the Barrel Man? I didn't know you were that
he showed
old.
me. No, he showed me. He said,
Here's my barrel.
here's the column you wrote, and you said, what is that Barrel Man doing out there? And he was calling himself like Carton Man or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, Carton Guy.
Yeah.
And so he adopted the Barrel Man, and when he died, his wife asked me to speak at the funeral, and there is talk, please don't, there are people who oppose this, about retiring his barrel on the Ring of Fame. Would you favor that or not?
Barrel Man on the Ring of Fame? I'd be for it. I vote yes.
Well, you and I, one of us needs to get behind that campaign.
Number 2, I stole directly from you, Cartman. So I think you should have a cartoon character represent the two, Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
Yeah.
So I'll take Cartman. And number 1, because I would not take Roseanne Barr. I've been told on good authority, I read this on the internet, so it has to be true, that Jessica Biel is a big Broncos fan. And if I have a choice to go to a Broncos game between Roseanne Barr and Jessica Biel,
yeah,
just by this much, I'm picking Jessica over Roseanne.
I've never seen her at a game though. Have you?
I'm hopeful. I'm ever hopeful. Maybe if we put her in the Ring of Fame, she'd come to at least one game.
So we're going to give you $1 if you have one we didn't mention.
I don't.
That's not a put down.
That's
kept my
$1,
dollar,
but no.
That is a tough. That is a
That is
tough.
a-
It was a tough question. I had to pick 2 dead people.
Pick six. Pick six is sponsored by. I could say BuzzBiz, but I can't. Say.
Buzzbees, pick 6, Peter Piper.
Pick Six is sponsored by, and it's not because I had 3 sips of a beer. Davidson's Liquors, and I go out there all the time. And what I love, if you haven't done this, go to Davidson's. It's on County Line Road, right off 470, and you go there. And all the time I would say, oh, I'd like to try a Samuel Smith. And I'd get a 6-pack and I might not like it. And then I'm stuck with 5 other beers and hope that somebody will come over and I go, here, try one of these. But
You're one of those guys.
Yeah.
You hand beers to guests that you
oh,
don't
yeah,
like.
Here's a beer. Yeah.
To guests you don't like, you hand beers they
It's
don't
like when
like.
you go out to a restaurant and you don't like your food, the guy across from you go, here, try this. Have you ever done that?
No.
That sucks. Well, yeah, of course. That's why I wanted you to try it. You could pick 6 different beers and you take them home and you try each one of them. And then the next time you go, here's the one I liked. I'm going to get that. Davidson's Liquors. If you are a fan of this show, if you watch this show, you don't have to be a fan of the show. If you watch this sports show, you can get $10 off any or an online order of $50 or more at davidsonsdenver.com using this promo code SportsShow10. This offer is good for online orders only, which can be delivered to your house. How good is that? Or picked up in the store. When you go in, you say, I want to pick up my Sports Show 10. It's available at davidsonsdenver.com. Use that coupon code SportsShow10.